What is the Schomburg Center? To me, it is home. The place where we come to see who we really are, not just somebody else's reflection of who we are.
The Schomburg Center is a place of culture, it's a place of history, it's a place of knowledge.
The Schomburg Center, to me, is a repository of all of the things that has documented our sense of worth as a people.
For me, that means that it is a place of immense power.
The Schomburg Center is a public research library and a cultural institution
for the study of the Pan-African world.
It is perhaps the best in the world.
My Schomburg Center is Arturo Alfonso Schomburg.
Arturo Schomburg said, Black history and culture and intellect exists at a time when most people didn't believe that. He collected those evidences, and that became the beginning of the collection.
And it has expanded and has grown to where it is now a world-class institution.
It holds over 10 million items.
There's no parallel anywhere that brings to light what we as people of color have done, what we continue to do.
Black culture is all of culture. The universals that animate everyone's life happen here for all people.
The Schomburg for me is one of the center pillars of Harlem. When I started the journey of finding out about Red Rooster and Harlem, the very first place I went to was the Schomburg.
Researchers from around the world come and use what we have here.
I could not have written just about any of the books that I've written without the Schomburg Center's archives, resources.
The Schomburg Center is much more than a library. We encourage lifelong learning and exploration.
The Junior Scholars Program is a Saturday program with students from 5th grade to senior year in high school to help them learn about Black history and culture.
Learning about my history is important because it teaches me who I am.
The Schomburg Junior Scholars Program is going to do nothing but uplift them.
So many talented and brilliant people have walked the corridors of this amazing institution over the years. From Octavia Butler to Toni Morrison and James Baldwin, Ella Fitzgerald, Alvin Ailey, and Harry Belafonte, who graced the stage in this room of the American Negro Theater.
This place evokes great memories. It was a gift to us in our community to really try to find that space to reflect expressions of Black experience. I just knew that the environment and what I saw these young African Americans doing was a place I needed to be.
What is my Schomburg Center? I'm standing here at the Cosmogram, which underneath holds the ashes of the poet Langston Hughes. On the evening when this Cosmogram was dedicated, people began to empty out of the auditorium. A jazz trio struck up, and to my amazement, Amiri Baraka went over and asked Maya Angelou for a dance. And they started to dance on top of the Cosmogram, on top of the ashes of Langston Hughes, and I felt what a fitting way to kiss the memory of Langston.
The Schomburg Center is a research institute and a library, but it's so much more than that.
There's something going on every day.
So many amazing people come here to talk about their creative craft, to share what inspires them. The Schomburg Center's collections help to tell stories even beyond our walls.
The Schomburg Center is here in this exhibition at MoMA, One-Way Ticket, Jacob Lawrence's Migration Series. We depend on the resources of the Schomburg to enable us to tell this story. Thinking about the implications of the past on the present is absolutely crucial for understanding the next steps, understanding what we have to do to go forward.
We today have the responsibility of making sure that new artists and activists, new scholars and poets know that this place continues to be a resource and a source of inspiration for the work that we must continue to do.
The Schomburg Center is knowledge.
The Schomburg Center, to me, is education.
The Schomburg Center is home. It is family. It is foundational.
The Schomburg Center is inspiration.
The Schomburg is with me in everything that I do.
Community, inside and out.
The Schomburg Center is us.
The Schomburg Center is you, and we invite each and every one of you to find your Schomburg Center.
Thank you. Welcome to the Schomburg Center. I wanted to let you guys know a couple of housekeeping rules before we get the show started. Remember, there is no eating or drinking in the auditorium. This is Hollowed Ground. It is the premier and probably the only location that houses everything that is important to Black culture. That's why we are so honored to be able to have the Hip Hop Film Festival here, particularly this year as we celebrate our culture. Now, everyone's saying that this is the 50th of hip hop, 50th of hip hop. It's the 50th anniversary of when our culture was seen by the mainstream. This culture has had many different names, it's gone through many different iterations, but this building stands as a testament to how long and rich and deep our culture goes. So while the outside world celebrates finally seeing us after 50 years, we are here today to understand that an evolution and a revolution is happening in how people understand how these things came about. We can no longer let the media dictate what our history is just by listening to a song that comes on the radio. We are more than that, and we are bigger than that. So tonight, we are featuring documentaries that tell the true stories, that speak to the true history of this culture, and that was picked up through the music, through the dance, through the art. And it was really the struggles of life that people were going through. Oh, give me 1 second, we coming. You know, I like to talk. But it's important to say that and to preface tonight with these words, that to remember that the piece that you guys came to see tonight is called You Can't Erase Me. So remember that as we begin to delve into tonight's program. Now you can start.
Making of the first album, Long Live the King, we were there. But the second album, I got on there and produced by Easy Mo B. Miles has been hanging out with Russell and he wants to get into hip hop. Even when he went to Arista, the very first music was mine. When he went in that booth, yeah, he just right out. Yo, you did the Biggie stuff? Yo, from Tony Turns on here, he's over there on the guitar. Alicia's on the piano. Everybody was on a real instrument except for me. All they have to do is say, yo, man, his beats, it was so hard. He was just such a soulful dude. If you just said that right there, yo, he was such a soulful dude. That's enough, that's fine with me.
Janelle Mecca Holmes, and Mr. Tony Wesley. See you here. Janelle, you're there, and Tony there. Okay, so before we get into the feature of this evening, I wanted to bring these amazing and revolutionary brothers up to the stage. First, to talk to Mo B about his story and why this documentary is being made. Then to talk to both Janelle and Tony Wesley about why documentary storytelling is so important, particularly now. So, Mo, There's a microphone right next to you. Give us a little background for the youngin' in the house that don't understand.
About Easy Mo B?
That's right.
Well, he asked me the question earlier. He said, who is Easy Mo B? Because we've been doing some taping for a documentary that we're coming up with. And my answer was, Easy Mo B is a DJ, a producer, a drummer, a lot of people don't know that, a father, a son, and a lover of music, particularly all things vinyl. When we're in such a digital world, I still have this connection with the vinyl. There's nothing like the needle in the groove, that sound, and that's connected to my original beginning with hip hop. It's that beat of the street, and that's Easy Mo B.
I like that. Tell me why you decided to agree to have your story told.
Well, a lot of people know about me as a DJ and a producer, but I told Mecca, I told Janole, I wanted to take it a little bit deeper. He suggested it too, that in addition to the musical achievements and the DJing and the producing and all things music, I wanted to also be about all things about my life. Cover me all the way from a little boy, from a kid, being in the living room when my father was playing the gospel. That's where my original connection with the music comes from, when he was playing James Cleveland, Dorothy Norwood, Howlin' Wolf, Lightning Hopkins, Jimmy Reed, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Sam and Dave. My father's the first original connection to the music for me. He's my first inspiration, watching him play 45 and album after album. And then when I grew up and I got around my teen years, my early teen years, as early really as 10, 11, or 12 years old, but I'm telling my age right there. Those were the disco years. There wasn't even hip hop yet. They were bringing the systems and the big speakers and the turntables out in the park. And I watched this guy stand in the middle between the two turntables, and he had the mixer in the middle, and he's like controlling the park, controlling the sound. And I noticed that he would have like 2 copies of the same record and focusing on that one important part of the record and making it loop round and round over and over. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then I heard guys like this guy here, a friend of mine that's in the audience, Special K, 1/3 of the group of the Treacherous Three. And after getting my cheap little setup, the brand was BSR turntables. We used to call them, as kids, we used to joke around and abbreviate it for bullshit record players, but BSR.
Right.
But I got my cheap little system, and every DJ had a name. And I loved Treacherous Three. In particular, in the group, I loved Kool Moe Dee and the name that he had. And I said, I need a name. And I took, he was cool, so I took a similar adjective, easy. He was M-O-E. I said, drop the E. And my family nickname is Booby. My mother gave me that name as a kid. That's what I'm known on my block in Brooklyn. So Easy Mo B. Thank you, Special K. Thank you, Treacherous Three.
Okay.
And it's not cool to bite.
Right. That I would
So-
always
so-
say that's the first rule of the culture is no biting.
Oh yeah, no biting.
No biting. People don't understand that.
And I didn't think
nowadays.
that I would grow to the level that I am today, sitting here on a stage talking with you about it. So, you know, if you want to call it a bite on Kool Moe Dee's name, I really didn't think I was going anywhere. Or was
That's
gonna,
more of a
Or was
respect.
gonna ever be anybody.
Yeah. We'll
So, Kay, you can tell Kool Moe Dee, I'm sorry for biting.
no bite.
Respect to y'all, brothers.
So let me ask you, Janal, why this story? Why Moby's story? And why is it important that it be told?
First and foremost, you know, it's an honor working with this phenomenal brother. He is not only one of the greatest hip-hop producers, but just one of the greatest music producers. His music has inspired my life from the days of Big Daddy Kane, Another Victory, Calling Mr. Welfare, and especially the Miles Davis project in which he won a Grammy. And that was Miles Davis's last album. That was just a historic, epic project. That was like the first real collaboration with jazz music and hip hop. So Eazy's music affected me spiritually. It motivated me, and he's just a phenomenal man and brother. So his story really needs to be told. A lot of times, when people see him, it's like, yo, you did the Biggie, you did the Craig Mack, and there's just so much behind this man. It's phenomenal. So I wanted to make sure we did justice to his legacy, his story, something that would last for hundreds of years to come.
And when he presented the original concept to me for doing this, I like what you said, Mecca. You said we gotta be able to tell our story while we're here, because if you don't do it now, like after you're gone, somebody else is gonna tell your story.
And they're going to tell it wrong.
And exactly, you may not like the way that they tell it, so.
Continue.
Yeah, so again, just an overall honor for him to allow me to do it. Again, Janal Mecca Holmes, I'm the CEO of Supernatural INC. We're a multimedia company. Just released a film 2 weeks ago on Amazon Prime called Surviving the Hill that addresses addiction. One of the stars of that film, Terrence Fredericks, is in the audience. Also, we're 90% completed in working on the S1W project of Public Enemy. So 90% completed with that project. So, you know, it's about protecting legacy and, you know, making a difference with your creativity, not just for monetary gain, but it's about legacy. And, you know, I have honor for Eazy Mo Bee's legacy. So.
Love that. So I want to bring Tony into the conversation at this point. Now, there's a microphone right next to you, Tony.
1 2 1 2
There you go.
3 4. I'm sorry.
And at this point, because now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of understanding why our stories need to be told and producing documentaries for the world to understand our stories and to understand what's behind the music. It's not just what they hear on the radio. So Tony, can you speak into the process behind the process behind making the centerpiece film for tonight, which is You Can't Erase Me, and why?
Well, it was easy for me to create something like this because what we are missing as black filmmakers is that we are so talented, that we have been given from God abilities, and I used those abilities much earlier in hip hop. So I do film not so much for myself, but we are losing a lot of legends. So Mo, you're right, stories need to be told. But I thought when I did my films, I've done 10 of them, they're not released yet. It's a series called You Can't Erase Me. It was to, one, tell the story, because our stories need to be told, correct? But two, show them how gifted we truly are. See, I want to be the blueprint. I want you to understand that you have to implement what Hollywood is implementing. So I went further, and when I shot, we traveled to the United States to get the interviews. And we set it up like Hollywood set it up, and we used reenactment, you know, and we used drone. And it was quite expensive, and there's no debt there, though. See, that's the key. I realized that if I had to partake on this adventure, that I would have to do it basically with me and one partner at the end of the day. But I would need the cooperation from all of my peers because I was there. So I said to myself, what is the motivation here? That you know the stories, that people will respond to you, and God has blessed me with intellect with my 7th grade education. You see, we all have a story. We all have similar stories. So what better way to have those stories capture the world? See, I didn't do this for hip hop. I did it for the globe. So these legends could have a career to be up on these stages, telling these children, these mothers, these fathers, I did it, don't do it. So it's very important to me to have them understand what conglomerate startup means. It tickles me every time I say that because I'm not rich, but my films are conglomerate. They're costly, but we're still a startup. And I just wanted to be that blueprint.
So when it comes to these stories being told, and Mo, I definitely want you to answer this question to start, because all of you have rich histories and rich stories that deserve to be on screens, all 3 of you. Mm-hmm. But in this instance, Mo, what do you want people to take away from your life? What is the what is the thing? Because we know the music, yes, and we have our affiliation connection with the music. But what is it within your story that is going to inspire within this documentary? What hurdle are you overcoming? Because we see you as the producer.
Mm-hmm. Besides the music, just as a man, if I wanted to be remembered for something, I want to be remembered for my level of integrity. I want people to know that while I was here, that I wouldn't just do anything for $1.
So are you going to be delving into those types of stories where you had to make that choice, you know, that imagery of the devil at the fork in the road type of situation?
Especially at this point in time in music, particularly in black music, the direction that hip hop is going in, I mean, there's a reason to be selective. You know, I feel like it's important, period, to continue the legacy of black music. I'm talking about the original elements of jazz, funk, soul, blues. You know, hip hop is all of that. Yeah. But those original elements that it drew from, we have to put that back into the music, back into hip hop, into all of the music. It's important from this point on to sustain that, and that's what I'm all about. I think maybe that's what my love of the vinyl and the records, I think that's where it comes from. I'm taking back to a better time.
It's symbolic.
Yeah. When I play that record, I put that needle in the groove. I'm taking back to a better time, a better place. And music is like a thread, it connects us all. You listen back to it like Al Green, you don't even gotta go that far back. You listen back to early 90s Pete Rock, CL Smooth. You play Feel the Heartbeat, Treacherous 3. There's like, there's some electricity that flows through you.
It's your soul immediately.
Yeah. I don't like to bash people, but a lot of the music right now doesn't.
You can say it.
Nah, I'm not.
You can say it. It's a safe space.
Nah, I'm not into bashing, you know what I mean? We all got the right to, as creators, to do whatever we want to do, but in terms of the original elements, black music, jazz, funk, soul, blues, some kind of way. And it don't matter that it's just hip hop, because a lot of people look at it like it's just hip hop. No, hip hop drew from all of those original elements. And we gotta find some kind of way to put that back into the music.
Tony?
All of my films will do two things. It will start to attach history, because we have been segregated. There were 5 elements to hip hop. And people talk about the year it started, it didn't start here. The reason why it started in '73, because Herc established 3 of those elements with that party. Knowledge is a gift and a given. My films will show truth on the blindness of the public, the viewers, the listeners, and it will also connect individuals in our culture from West Coast to East Coast, because we all knew each other. I'm Mr. Wave. I danced around the world, but I ate at his house. I ran with T. La Rock in the streets. We all hung out, but mainstream media as well as the corporate body have separated us for power. And that destroyed the record companies, it destroyed the MCs, and we lacked that first generational knowledge, not integrity, but knowledge. We didn't know business. Independence, too. Yeah, so this establishes that, because there was a false narrative, and the problem with that false narrative is that we created it. Just like I thought I had a chemical imbalance with my anger, and it's not true. We kept saying we did it just for the love, just for the love. But there ain't no one saying that today, because we didn't see the billions to be generated. Well, my stories tell and catch the liars, catch the folks that made them hundreds and millions of dollars. And then I have truth to power in my stories. So when you have MC Lyte speaking, and Shantae speaking, and Curtis Blow speaking, it sets history straight. But then when you have the artist laying out what happened with bare witnesses, it just can't be denied. So my stories are the truth, their history, and there's redemption.
And that's what we love, is the redemption. And perfect segue into what we came to watch tonight, which is the first episode of You Can't Erase Me, of the docuseries. Tony, can you tell us a little bit about what we're about to see?
What you're about to see is a brilliant mind that thought he had it all because he was so intelligent. He was before his time. So because he's before his time, he lacked the business side of it, and the trust came with self-power. So he felt powerful because he was in front of everyone and allowed the snakes in. And it just kept biting him. So this story is about a man's walk from his career to today.
Couldn't have said it more perfectly. Please give an amazing round of applause for the legends that are on the stage. Janelle, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for bringing Moby, and I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you for having us in your space. Appreciate that.
Definitely. All right, gentlemen, go and take your seats. We're about to see a show, honey.
In the 1970s, the Bronx was burning. But out of that ash and rubble came a brand new subculture and music genre in the multi-billion-dollar rap music industry.
The R&B DJs from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, into the 60s, into rock and roll. Jive talking, fast talking, rhyming, pitch and bass, they were the ones who are promoting and hyping the record. That's where the rap style from the Bronx comes from.
Brooklyn has their version of the hip hop start for them. The Bronx has their version. Harlem everybody has a different take on it, but all of this stuff is happening simultaneously.
There were MCs that joined together to become rappers, but then you have Special K.
talking down, but they not on my pedigree. Not on my pedigree, nigga. And when I come around, swear they not on my pedigree. Not on my pedigree. My thoughts going well, but they not on no pedigree. Not on my pedigree, nigga. The girl on my style, cause you're not on my pedigree, nigga. I hear them talking down, but they not on my pedigree. Not on my pedigree, nigga. And when I come around, swear they not on my pedigree. Not on my pedigree. My thoughts going well, but they not on no pedigree. Not on my pedigree, nigga. The girl on my style, cause you're not on my pedigree, nigga. It's all love on this side. If you hating on me, nigga, state the issue. Been the real one since the Tyler. From 100 with you, ain't no faking with you. This nigga's funny, need the wins with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Special K to the stage. So let's have a little conversation. For those that for those that would like to have questions or comments, we have 2 microphones in the back. If you want to, you can start making your way there if you have questions or comments for Kay. This documentary, this Look Into Your Life is dope as hell. I love it.
Well, just by me walking on this stage, I got like sort of an MC flashback. I don't know whether to talk or rhyme.
You can do both. It's up to you.
Mm?
You can do both. It's up to you.
Can I get a little soul clap? No, let me stop. Okay, listen, let me flex a little, just a little bit. I'm just going to say one quick, just to get the little, I'm used to having that beer belly, and as y'all can see, it's macadamia. Time to pay the bills with lyrical skills and build. Time to crack shields, lock deals, reveal the real technique. You ever think my creativity level will never sink or never shrink? Come on now, that's how it goes. Sink or never shrink. Now watch this one. I shake subliminals, open terminals, food for inner will, teaches the win and chill. A renaissance man with a renaissance plan, already start stance, steadily guided diagram. The program, indigenous I am. Have a message, y'all, and it slams. I'm so full of soul pills. I call them soul pills. Doses of inner God will. Now, my brother, Mr. Wave, is in the house, and he always asks me to say this rhyme. I don't know. Really, it's like my brother would say, is a mixture between poetry. I'm not really trying to get all feel the heartbeat up here, so I'm just trying to get words out. Excuse me. I might need a beat. I want to be in a position like Simon, because what Simon says to do, you'll do. Even the pessimistic respond in a manner of blind obedience, as if obligatory. It's not so fastidious or dictatorial, just facilitated orders carried out. I want to be a combination of many things, but my conscious intention is to make you shout. I'll conceive a cybernetic evaluation of a raw sensation. Coordinated strength that comes in a rhyme, and every measure of beat designed to be on time. I'm stuffed with style and coated with an element stronger than steel. For real, and in a battle of wit, I always win. I'm charged with the energy of 50 men. A talented and young, very high strung, poet that decided to have some fun. I might do it for fee or do it for a fee. Either way, it's gonna be a delight to see. I have a limited courage, deliberate moves, a voice to enlighten, comfort, and soothe. My mind once fetal, now sharp as a needle. Knowledge is pungent and nourishing to me. I can say for sure, excitement is a law. And wherever it's at, that's where I'll be. because I took this job and I'm committed. I'm perfectly fitted, and I'm glad I did it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a brilliant, vivacious man that decided to be self-made. I'll make you shake, shiver. I always deliver. I'm a prominent person in the music trade. Peace out. I would have been a little bit more if I had somebody up in here like Dougie to do the beatbox. How y'all doing out there? I'm feeling blessed up here. And y'all see the transition. I preach good health. And y'all see I went from that, that place was horrible. But just like as a child coming up, you know, I had to have, active, very aggressive imagination. I mean, as I sit here and my wisdom has grown, I really think if anyone is familiar with the Akashic Records, I believe I was born connected to the Akashic Records because I'm always being filled with answers and just things. A lot of the, if you notice, even with the rhyme I just said, if I say, I'll conceive a cybernetic evaluation of a raw sensation, I'm be honest with you, these are not new rhymes. I wrote these lyrics like 16, 17 years young. And they came like that. I had to find out what they meant. But from what I understand, when I say I'll conceive a cybernetic evaluation of a raw sensation, that's almost like saying I'm giving you deja vu in a rhyme. Ain't that something? Even if you, people give, they like my Dougie especially, he knows how I can take things. With It's Yours, it was 84. I'm saying computer program with just one finger. Made complete for the chosen singer. Who was using computers? You understand? So even when I'm describing for the commentating, illustrating, description, giving, adjective, expert, analyzing, all these words are coming to me. I'm not trying to connect it. It's message to me. And as I do the definitions, even on It's Yours, if you was to break down the lyrics and I would define them, this is why there is no way that a Rick Rubin, he's a 20-year-old kid, there's no way he could fathom those lyrics. He can't, just as Dougie described, there's no way he could produce that record. He was an engineer. You would have to, one, I made sure that the cadence was right, but I instilled a lot of situations lyric-wise. So if anybody was to ever take the time and break down the rhyme, they would open up a whole world. Even on Feel the Heartbeat, I'm saying I'm Special K, not a doctor, but I'm gonna prescribe rock and send a vibe to rock your whole tribe. Who the hell had a tribe in hip hop? To rock your whole tribe, it's traditional custom when I'm in the place. Something that you enjoy no matter what your race. I'm like a reoccurring myth, but all I am is a man. A reoccurring myth? What the hell is that? I'm a bad motherfucker. Now let me see. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting words together So I knew, you know, I'm flying all over the place because I'm into my lyrical flow. And I'm thinking of some of the lyrics that I wrote, and I'm actually astonishing myself as I just seen my film and hearing everybody talking about me. For a minute, I was like, who the hell they talking about? But that's all right if it's me, okay. So I noticed that what happened is I sort of, as one gentleman once told me, he said, I think it was Jaquan, he said, it doesn't even seem like you trying to make a rap record. And I said, you got me. Because really, I'm not making a record. I'm keeping a record. All I have to do is go back to my rhyme. I could change the cadence on anything. The message is I'm not in the place by accident. I've been sent to represent Body Rock, the magnificent and intelligent. That's why I'm on the mic with this statement. Dougie, taking it up here, bringing it down. But I'm leaving messages. For it's yours. You could pick any of the verses. If it doesn't stop there. On most of the lyrics that I put on record, they were written when I was 13, 14, stuff like that. So really, when I stepped into this world of I came in it as a child that was restricted. I was amongst my brother. I have 4 brothers and a sister, and I'm talking about in the summertime, we could not, this was the house. We could come outside, and this is the building here. We can't go past here. And you can't go past this house. And you not going in the street. And you can get up as early as you want in the morning, but you going back in at 6 o'clock in the summer. I'm looking out the window watching all of this stuff. I say, you know what? That's when, see, as a child, I used to be in the television, so I was always entertaining myself with musicals. I was watching them all, Gene Kelly, all that, you know, all that show business stuff. So I was already in that. So I was picking up on show business as a child. So my imagination was all dealing with what was around me. So I always found ways. There was comedians. I don't even know how I understood that stuff. But I had to have an imagination. So even Gone with the Wind, them emotional things, I think I kind of picked up on a lot of different things that I should maybe, but I did kind of mix it up later on with the James Cagney, you know, the gangster stuff. But for the most part, it was mostly leading me into a more, a different kind of way of seeing things and able to express myself almost like a visual manner. So when people used to say metaphors, I used to be like, yeah, that's the way I normally do things, but they'll get hold of metaphor and everybody, I use metaphors in my rhymes and it's supposed to make them super intelligent. But it's just, I'm left-handed, I'm a Virgo, you heard me? So it's like I'm off the chain. My birthday's this month, the 26th.
All right, all right.
Okay, for those that are in the numerology, y'all do the numbers. All right. So what I'm trying to tell you is that over the as I sit back and I look out there and I see you guys, it reminds me of the last time I was here was for the Beach Street reunion, and I was also with my my brother, Mr. Wave. We was in the movie. Harry Belafonte was still with us. And I'm on this end, and I'm going, wow. And I got to be honest with you guys, this is the first time I ever seen this. Wave kept telling me, yo, watch it. I said, nah, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. I want to wait.
So let me jump in right quick. Let me jump in, ask you some questions. When I was watching it, I thought, how many times can you kill a man? And in this story, I saw your attempted murder several times.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, let me tell you something.
No, wait, hold on. Let me bring it home. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. They took your credit. That'll kill your soul. So there are things that people do to us, that we do to each other, that is mentally and emotionally violent. You know what I mean? And these are the examples that I saw. They took your credit.
Well, you know, let me.
Well, hold on. They took your credit.
I'm getting ready to ask you, what are the rules on profanity up in this piece? How far? Because it's some
It's a
full
safe
stuff.
space. You can say what you want. They took your credit. They took your business partner, or your business partner. It was a betrayal. And then your body was like, you know, we out of here. But then what I saw, what Tony spoke about earlier, was the redemption. And it was amazing to see how many times you resurrected yourself and kept going. So let's start with the first attempted murder, which is you not getting credit for the song you wrote.
You know, what's real, I have to set the record straight on this whole thing with the record, okay? If you notice the story, if you look and hear what I'm saying, it was never a big thing for me, as big as people might think, about the writing of the record. I wrote the record, but understand this. Me and Rick Rubin were partners. It wasn't me writing a record for Rick. Who the hell was Rick in 1984, 83? He was a college student in a dorm. I'm Special K. Treacherous 3 just did a movie. I'm working on the voiceovers for Graffiti Rock, which of course had Run DMC. Where Run DMC goes, Russell goes. And just like my plan, which was well thought and didn't even have to, because that's just the way it works for Kevin. I'm always, my thing come in complete. I get it, and things just happen. I just happen to be doing voiceovers at Arthur Baker's studio. He just so happened to say he's looking for a solo artist. This is the one day I didn't have my test person with me. We was going for a distribution deal. I'm signed to Sugar Hill. I do all the work. I write the song. What did Rick come along with me? What did he really do at that time? Now people look at him and they say, hey, he's big time. No, then let's bring it home. It was nobody involved but me and Rick. All this other stuff about the dorm and all that, that's all. You heard what Mikey said in there? So it's like, it's me going from Def Jam. When he showed me that, we was in the car, we just solidified the deal with Arthur, which I thought was a distribution deal. And so when Rick, we in the car, he goes, and I'm legally blind, you know, I have bad eyesight, so if y'all see me going like this, it's not like I'm got a little bottle in my pocket. No, I'm really, you know, struggling to see and keep balance. But we in the car, and he shows me a piece of paper, and I look on it, and I barely see it, and it said Def Jam. And once again, I'm going to Rick in his voice. You know, beats and all that. I'm thinking, oh, Def Jam, and I'm going, oh, at the time it didn't really. But I'm thinking, well, you finally did something. You know,
you did something all right.
You right. But mind you, this is, oh man.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Hold on. All right. Let me get this straight. So you have the talent, all of that. You bring on the white kid as the intern, basically. NYU in the dorm. He don't know nothing about this culture. It ain't his culture. It ain't his music. It ain't nothing. But he sat there and he watched you all that time. Then and when he finally opens his mouth, is after he has sat back and watched everything you did and created this document to create a label based on all of your talent or your drive. This is what you're telling me.
No, what it is that just like he described, it's like everything is all technical and all that now because it's in hindsight. And so now you got categories and word terminology and all. No, back in the days, it was just cut and dry, simple. It was Rick in the dorm and me in the...
So how did he come up with this Def Jam
no, listen,
paper?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. We just got the deal, whatever, and they putting together the label. Matter of fact, I have an example right here. See, I'm ready for y'all.
I know that's right.
All right, see, and by the way, these are going to help Kevin get some new shoes and match my...
No, that's right.
You see that? This is the label.
Right.
Right? This is where you would think, okay.
Right. Okay, and I'm going to read it to you guys. So let's hold it up here. So it says, Def Jam Recordings.
Okay. Now, you see Party Time.
Party Time,
This
right.
is Arthur Baker.
Mhm.
Def Jam, he put Def Jam Productions, right?
Right.
Now, you see K. I made sure I had this blown up.
It says K. Keaton.
That's Special K.
Right.
R. Rubin. Notice my name is first.
Right.
Here's second. You would think that this was all about who wrote it. No, these two names are connected to this.
To Def Jam
to
Recordings.
the production. So whether it was a label, whether it was a shoe shine shop, these are the two participants.
Right.
K. Keaton, R. Rubin. So it was no record company president of nothing. It was nothing for him, the president, nothing. He was Rick and I was K, Special K. And I did the song, I walked that record around like a dog. You heard me? It should have had a leash. I went everywhere with it. And this particular day. So when it came back, you could see it. But either way you slice it. So I gave It's Yours. And you see T-La Rock and
Right.
Jazzy J. But bottom line, this was the test. This was the original deal that went down.
Wow.
So I was it looked like me and Rick were partners for Def
Jam Recordings.
Production.
Yeah, yeah.
So then later on, what Mikey said about the other situation with the LL, and then they switch. Rick, as a matter of fact, I like to give LL Cool J a shout out because he probably doesn't even know this. But I heard I need a beat. Rick called me up and played it over the phone. And I'll never forget it because I heard it. Now, who out of anybody on this planet could tell when there's something that they created is being used? I recognize I need a beat from right off the top as it being the It's Yours.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked him. And it was funny.
He was sampling.
Because, no, you don't get it. LL, at the time when I heard it, if you listen to it, I'm an MC fan. I'm a fan of MCs. I like the way they flip and this and that. And the way he covered my song, he did it. He had the verses counted out, everything. I gave him credit. I was like, yo. And so I told Rick, I said, sign him, just like that. Just like the house. And Arthur Baker didn't, when I say he said sign him, that's what he said. But really, that was a distribution deal that was supposed to, it was a test pressing. Arthur Baker didn't pay for no studio time. We didn't walk in there, it wasn't a demo. We walked in there with a fully made record. It was on the test pressing. So that was where I was disillusioned. So that was one death because, I mean, it was, man, let me tell you something. My father used to say, boy, there's some people that are still a stank off of shit. You heard me?
Better believe it.
So it's like, if it was a way, it seemed like one is that when I plug Russell in, I'm thinking, Russell, this is where the trust thing comes in. Like, it's a shame that most of the people, as I go through this whole situation, most of the people that I knew everybody, and even to this day, people could see me and they know exactly what time it is. And it's mind-boggling that it continues. Even up to this day, people still look at the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Why aren't people calling for me? Oh, come on, let's put it like this. If anybody, if you just use, okay, my birthday is August 26th. Right now, I'm very well preserved. You see, people say death, this and that, but let me tell you something. When I say I'm a living organic reaction, trust me. And once I turned it opposite and I took it from self-destruction to putting it back where it belonged, check this. Yo, for real, look at me. You can't even tell. I done reversed the whole curse just by the wisdom that was given to me.
That part, Kay.
So I'm standing here, and I'll be, you see what I look like in there. I look like Teddy Pendergrass. But listen, I had to get myself, I'll snap on me. Everybody's on the side. What I'm trying to tell you is like these people think, like I said, you cannot touch me. I'm the only one that can hurt me. When I put these things together, when I discovered Greg Nice was in a hole in the wall somewhere. I seen him, he was with his partner. He had a partner named June Love, rest in peace. He had a partner, and I'll never forget it. I'm always looking out. When I'm hearing these guys, and I'm hearing one guy on the beatbox, right? And I'm thinking, okay, Dougie, beatbox, and there's a guy doing beatbox, but there's the other guy rhyming. And this guy is going, whatever that style that you hear Greg doing now, his partner, June Love, Greg was beatbox, and June Love was the MC. But I took them both collectively, and I grabbed them up. I even took them down to downtown. I said, I took them to OC from Fearless 4. And OC had a little label. I wound up doing some songs for him. I thought never was going to come out, but computers got me trying to get that quicker. But anyway.
That's all right. He made me laugh.
Tried to sneak there. Anywho, so I get Greg. I told OC, I said, look, man, these brothers, they out here, they doing it. I said, give them some money, because they ain't had no money. It was like Christmas time or something. I said, give them some money, this and that, and they did some work, and they would come up to the house and everything. And, somewhere along the line, they went off and started just they just became part of the norm, coming back and forth to the house until Tila Rock and It's Yours. Then I brought Greg back. After June Love had got murdered, by the way. There's so many stories to this thing, but I'm trying to nutshell it. So, I did that for Greg. I never asked nobody for that. I get a kick out. I just like to see people do better, man.
So you truly did it for the love.
I just really love
You thought y'all was going to eat together, make music
I never
together,
thought that it
party
would,
together,
right.
have a good time.
I just thought that if
Right.
you do this, you would appreciate it.
And in walks Russell Simmons.
So, now, when Russell came into the picture, it was real. Anybody in their right mind that knows hip-hop knows Russell was a manager. If anybody could tell me where Russell had a label before It's Yours, you all right? I took Tila Rock, I took the touch person down, no matter of fact, I took the record down to his office. He was packing up, ready to leave, and I'm cool with Russell because I used to go to the Fever and all that stuff. I had 3 birthday parties there, you remember? You was there. Now let me stop.
Listen, first of all, you ain't gonna be
that way you was out there to mess with you. But everybody knew Russell. So I figured it was safe. He had Houdini and everything. As a matter of fact, I even gave Russell some more lyrics after that. For Houdini, for all the rest, he was like, yo, you got anything else? And so I'm thinking everything is cool. So that's how Russell got in the picture, because he was a manager. T needed a manager. Now, I know we jumping back and forth from this to the Greg Nice and all that other, but I guess it's just alluding to some of the things that I've done which, as described, that I really don't pull nobody's card. I don't get out there saying, yo, Greg, you know, I don't do that. I didn't, when Salt and Peppers, everybody knows Salt and Pepper, right? Yeah. You know they used to be Supernature? Guess who got Supernature and took Supernature and shopped them to Jive Records and then took them after Jive said, can't do it. This is where the OC card comes in. OC used to do work with Next Plateau Records. So I took Salt and Pepper to Next Plateau. In the process, their name changed from Supernature to Salt and Pepper. Spinderella, the original Spinderella, was a friend of mine. She's a sister to me. So she got the DJ. So I put that just like that. And I never went back. Salt and Pepper probably don't even know to this day what happened. But that's just how cool I am. But see, when I say things like I'm on a mission from God in my lyrical flow, that's another thing from the Akashic. I don't come up with these words sometimes. They just come out. So maybe just me being just the way I am, and like I said, I'm more into, I've always been, and I'm not, like people would say, a good person, but I just never want to see nobody hurt. I want to see people do better.
But that's the definition of a good person.
Right, but I just have to do it. I up to this day, I can't, I always think plural. I cannot think me. I have to think it's got to be more.
Now listen to this.
So I kept it like that.
So we got through the first two deaths, right?
It was millions of them, but go ahead.
Yeah. As told through the doc. then your body rebelled, right? And you were at death's door, literally. But the love, but here's where what you just said, I think, is where your resurrection and your regeneration came in, is because you put so much goodwill out in the world. You were able to self-heal. You were able to be resilient. You were able to recognize, okay, these are the things that are hurting. All right, alcohol done, party done. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to get it together. And I'm going to claim back what I put back into the universe. What do you think about that theory?
Well, I'll have to say what my brother Tony had mentioned. I heard him. He picked up on, I isolate a lot. I've always isolated because that's where I would connect, and then I'd come out into the world and display. Through my isolation, is you get to know yourself. So with the knowledge that I would pick up, you know, I've been around a lot of wise people, so they teach me stuff. So once I got into learning that, it's because it's clear that, you know, I drank, and like my brother described, I'd be the life of the party. I was not Woodrow. I slur more now that I don't drink. But when I would drink, you wouldn't automatically pick up on it. So I'm losing my place because it's just so much when this is how my mind works. It's like so many things. When you touch one thing, it
opens up the other.
It's like a day. A day is filled with a whole. One day that of me just existing is like 19 stories are going on through that whole day.
That's the touch of genius. That's genius.
So it's
you know
like wow. So as I go through these, and I'm going back and putting myself back into these instances and thinking about the salt and pepper thing, you have to remember, I was in my house where I grew up, and these people were coming to my house. So I'm mixing up scenes from my house and them, and now that it's this hip-hop, it's so hip-hop that it takes you away from the normal just being in your house, and everything got to be extra, but really it's simple, and there's a compelling part. It seems like people want it to be more than what it is. But it really was simple, and it wasn't like as back-to-back as you may think. It would be if I run into you, and I would have no choice. It just so happened these people were just around me, and I just had no choice but to be me. And just so happened, and like we didn't know. I mean, I had no clue. I'm still not a businessman to this day, and I'm just still crazy like that. But it's like I still want to hold on to that part of me. That just keeps on giving, and I'm not one of the people that say if you do good it comes back. I mean, I stay blessed, man. I've always been blessed. That's how I was able to bless people. I had to get it, and then I gave it, and I keep on getting it, and I keep on just having it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It comes to me first. I could easily take it for myself and go and become a bandit with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As well as I can think of positive, enlightening things, I could be worse than Stephen King in 2 seconds flat. You heard me?
Got you.
You ain't seen The Exorcist yet. You know what I mean? I get wicked on it, put some images.
So I know we have some questions in the back, and then we'll talk about a little bit about healthy eating.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
the
gonna be
importance
fun.
of
That's
healthy,
going to be real fun.
Healthy eating.
Who wants to learn how to eat?
Question in the back.
Yes.
Is the mic on?
So
there we go.
that's the one. If I do anybody's documentary, watch it before we get here. Okay, my question is, we went through a time, getting these stories out and leaving a lot of what they call hanging fruit. And we want, ultimately my goal is to give you guys film. So my documentaries are more like biops with hanging fruit. And so I have a question for you. When this was being shot, and this is your first time seeing it, so you're in touch with some emotion right now. It's got to be there. If you're not human, you're human. You're in touch with yourself now, and you're going backwards for the first time. I would ask, what is your tomorrow going to be like?
Oh, my tomorrow is now. I'm just full of life, I mean, I've never been in that sort of position where I couldn't, receive what I know. I just been holding, just stashing. So I'm in the studio. Matter of fact, I have a producer with me today. I have Easy Mo B in the house. I have songs for days. I'm doing a clothing line and all the rest. I'm doing all the MC stuff. As far as me, it's just something wonderful about this, treating my body right. I get to sustain and maintain because I'm not attaching myself to a lot of these devices. I'm keeping myself on a normal evolutionary stage. So I'm more natural. I'm evolving, so ideas are coming crisp and clear. I'm a walking institution. There's nothing I can't touch in this. I mean, I can take you to A to Z in any creative fashion. And what ain't there, trust me, give me a minute.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, question here.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Jay Nicole, and this being the 50th anniversary of hip hop, this was amazing to see this part of the history that I had no idea about. So thank you for having this, being a part of this film, doing this film, and allowing us to learn this about you and about that part of the culture. Initially I had 2 questions I was going to ask you. The first question was going to be, after seeing this, how do you feel? But when you got up on that stage and you turned on, honey, I was like, yeah. I don't even need to ask that question anymore. Because you showed up and showed out. So my second question, if you don't mind asking it, and if this is too personal, I completely understand. The moment in the film when Earl, I think it was Earl was his name, had said that you called him to come over, was that for a specific reason? Had you planned that you was going?
That's another part of me.
Okay.
That occurs. I mean, I've been I could tell you stories. Like when he told me that, I said, "Wow, that's kind of cool of me."
Wow.
I foreseen it, and part of me just took over because he told me. I told him that. I said, I ain't tell you that, but that's what I did. It's amazing. I'm connected to something, so that keeps me and restores me also. So as you can see, so that's pretty much as far as I could take that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have another question?
Well, I don't really have a question. I just want to thank Special K for inviting me. I'm MC Glamorous from the Juice Crew All Stars, and I'm also
All right.
I'm his former sister-in-law. I was married to Tila Rock, and I kid you not, I did not know none of that.
Wow.
I knew about the father-in-law, and it was strange and weird in the house. And then I just want to thank you. And I'm a chaplain now for United States New York State Chaplain Task Force, so I am spiritually connected. And every time I speak to Kay, it's like, as we say in Islam, subhanallah, glory to God. Because he was going through a lot, and when he speaks to me, and then I see this, now I understand it's connected, the dots, that why you talk the way you talk to me, because he never really told me his business. He always treated me like family, even though I'm divorced from his brother, and he's always sharing phenomenal ideas with me. And I would say, wow, that's great, that's great. I never bit, never took, but what I take from you is the knowledge and training, because I'm still in the music business. I'm just blocked, I think, or you can't erase me either,
Right.
because they don't mention me, and they haven't invited me either. You know, I just show up. And when I show up, that's why I wear my crown, because I'm the first female MC from Long Island to sign a record deal, you know, and I've been rapping since 77, since I heard Shy Rock, and you know, music was my life. And Kay, you are phenomenal. I you know, listening to you as I grew up as well, and then you're just amazing. You're amazing, and God has blessed you with a gift, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Thank you, sis. I love you. That's my sis.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Love,
I want to
love,
say what's up real quick to Sparky D.
Yeah, Sparky D
Hey,
is in the
Sparks.
house.
And Mikey, who's on the mic. The whole You Can't Erase Me
That's right.
family. Love me some Spark.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, Mr. Energy.
You know the energy is here, baby.
All day.
How's everybody doing? I'm Mikey D from Main Source, Queens, and all of that good stuff. But Special K, you know I love you, right? You know when people say, you know I love you, right? Something is about to be said. So I'm going to say this. Now, when I met LL Cool J, he wasn't LL Cool J. He was Jay Ski at the time, right? And when we first met, I told him that I made It's Yours. He believed me for about 3 weeks until he really caught me out there when he said, well, how come you didn't spell your name? Because it's spelled T-L-A-R-O-C-K, you know, so I couldn't lie no more. And then he started looking on the records and all of that. But long story short, we used to listen to It's Yours over and over and over again, and that's how we crafted our cadence. It was because of that record, the I Need a Beats and all of that, me and everything after came through. So we want to thank you, man. And I was really surprised when they told me that, because he didn't tell me until I got to the interview. Then Mr. Wave told me, blew my mind, mine's still blown, and L's mind was blown too, remember? Yo, thank you. I love you, man. You already.
It makes sense.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
So, I don't think we have any more questions, but I know we have to wrap. What I want to say about You Can't Erase Me as a series. One more question? Okay, Shafiq.
Thank you for coming out today, and I'm watching this.
I was watching the documentary, and I was just sitting here thinking that, of course, the information that was in the documentary plus what you're revealing today was not in the documentary. So obviously, we can't encapsulate a person's life within 1 hour or 2 hours or so. But I'm just wondering, on a personal note, at what point do you feel you accomplished whatever you accomplished? At what point do you feel that you're seen and visible?
When I say, well, some people, there's a saying that we have in and what I live by is, you know, I could never be a wannabe. I just be. And if people take notice, that's what it is. I'm not out there clamoring and trying to get you to love me, like me. I just move in ways that if you just happen to be within the vicinity, you catch on, and that's all I want to be, is just in that light. You know, so I guess now we can be amplified through technology, but for the most part, I've never tried to be a wannabe. I have to constantly spark. So there's no comfortability. There's always me just remember I'm connected. So I don't know what I'm gonna do the next day or the next minute. So I'm continually in flight. A lot of these stories and a lot of these people I touched, I went to California. I was supposed to be there 2 weeks. I stayed 4 years. Could you imagine the groundwork I put in over there? I electrified some folk, and I don't do, so people might just get it from a kitchen table, you know what I mean? And it's effective. And I know my work. I see it. I can see when I done did something. I see it, and that's all that. And if I can see it, then I'm walking in the path.
See ya.
I'm following the directions down to the letter. So
Yes.
to answer your
Tony?
question, I hope that suffices.
I want to answer. I'm gonna go a little deeper on your question, sir. Your name? Shafiq. The reason I knew it all. It is not my job to do documentaries. It's to give them the ability to have their stories told on a bigger screen. So I will never divulge everything that I hear or that I know. That's called hanging fruit. It'll drive the industry towards Special K. That's why we can't say everything. Does that make sense? That's why.
So I know we have to wrap, but I want to give a special thank you and just big up to Tony for putting this series together. So this is just a piece, a window into what is coming. You Can't Erase Me as a series it's looking to get picked up, and Tony's working actively to bring it to a large space so that as many people can see it as possible. But it is important that they are structured and put out in this way to let you know that to give people the idea of the true history and the people behind the true history. So the series starts off with Special K. You have Sparky D, you have Mikey D, and it is absolutely amazing. So as we leave the auditorium here, please engage with them. Please engage with Special K, of course. Speak with Tony to find out more about the documentary series and what you can do to help get that on the map. Everybody knows somebody somewhere, to doing something. Even if it's just posting about it or saying, I need to have that story told. Black rap matters. You know, our music matters. Our legends matter. It will help make sure that our history is not whitewashed. You can't erase me. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
I forgot to mention, you can go to youcan'teraseme.net to find out more information. Again, to find out more information about this series, go to youcan'teraseme.net. Enjoy.